When I think back to my schooling years, primary school through to the HSC, I was always kind of just an average student and getting those average marks and making my way through primary and high school and not really kind of going above, not really going below. But I recall one specific moment in this journey. I was in year 9 and I had just received some math test results. I had gotten around a 65%. I remember looking at that mark in the classroom thinking, okay, I guess it's okay. I wasn't too emotional or too concerned about it. Later that day, I'd gone home and shown the results to my parents, and my older brother was also in the room. And he asked me one very simple question. He said, "Justin, don't worry about the mark itself. Ask yourself, is this the best that you could do? Is this the best that you could have done? Is this reaching your potential?" And that was the first time I had thought about a mark like that. Previously, I thought about it as just an absolute score relative to 100%. The closer you get to 100%, the better the mark and the smarter you are. I never thought about it as testing it against my own potential. So even though this was marked out of 100%, was this exam or was this mark reflective of what I am capable of? And that was really the first time in my academic journey that I started considering, am I reaching my potential? Like, am I tapping into everything that I'm capable of? And after that moment, when I prepared for my next set of exams, it was very different. I started thinking about, instead of just preparing for the sake of it, for the sake of getting a good mark, I started thinking about it as, can I prepare for this exam in such a way that taps into my potential? And not just preparing for the exams, but also even in the classroom. Like when the teacher was explaining things or when we had to do activities, it was more about, am I doing this to better myself or am I just doing this for the sake of getting it done? When I changed my mindset, that shift in the way that I approached activities and my studies and things like that, that was when I really started looking at education as a way of bettering myself, understanding the world around me more and less about the score. And that shift in perspective actually translated into a better mark, better scores, and overall a better schooling experience. The next set of exams that I had done, I actually did significantly better. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I just put in more effort, I changed my mindset, and I didn't really do anything revolutionary, but my marks changed significantly. And I went on to get a 99 ATAR. I wasn't projecting that when I was in year 8 or year 9, but that conversation with my brother, that question really caused me to think about, am I tapping into my potential? And that was probably the biggest turning point for me academically. And even just in my general life, it's not just for the sake of getting something done. It's, am I bettering myself in doing this? And am I reaching my potential? And so that for me was the biggest shift in my academic journey.